Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about a journey I took. A journey from making decisions with, your gut to making them with cold, hard data. And trust me, it changed absolutely everything for me.
Okay, I gotta come clean. For the longest time, I made almost every big decision based on my gut. I really thought I had great instincts. But you know what I found out? My gut was a horrible gambler. So this is the story of how I finally learned to stop guessing and actually start knowing.
I used to call it intuition. Sounded professional, right? But looking back, a much better word for it is just gambling. My gut was a gambler. And it turns out there's actually a formal name for this kind of thinking. Yeah, it's called subjective probability. It's exactly what it sounds like, making calls based on a feeling. But here's the kicker, it is the least reliable way to predict pretty much anything. So, if we want to make better decisions, and I mean, who doesn't, we have to move past this. We just have to.
So how do we do that? Well, the very first step isn't about trying to predict the future. Not yet. It's about getting a really honest look at what's happening right now, learning to see the world in numbers.
And the main tool we use for this is called descriptive statistics. You can think of it like a highlight reel for your data. It takes this huge, messy pile of information and just boils it down to a few key numbers that actually tell you something. We're not trying to see the future yet, remember, we're just trying to get a clear, unbiased picture of today.
But even right here, you've got to be careful. We all know what an average is, right? The mean. But what's wild is how easily it can lie to you. See, the mean is super sensitive to what we call outliers, those extreme values. Think about it. If you have a room with 10 people making normal salaries and one billionaire walks in, the average income in that room suddenly becomes millions. It's completely skewed. The median, though, it just finds the person in the middle. The billionaire doesn't throw it off. So just asking for the average might not be telling you the real story at all.
So how do you actually get the full story? You use this thing, a box plot. Seriously, think of this as an X-ray for your data. In just one single image, it shows you everything. The minimum value, the maximum value, and that box in the middle, that's where 50% of your data lives, with the median right in the center. It gives you a complete, honest look at the structure of your data with nowhere for those sneaky outliers to hide. Okay, so now we can see the present clearly. That's step one. Now, let's level up. It's time to understand the actual rules of the game, to figure out how chance really works. And this slide, this really gets to the heart of the whole shift. We're moving away from that old way, that unreliable, subjective, gut feel nonsense, to the new way, experimental probability. This is all based on real-world data from doing things over and over again. It's not a guess, it's a calculation. And this is the foundation for making smart predictions. And this is where things start to get really powerful. A lot of the time, we need to know the chance of two different things happening at the same time. In probability, we call that an intersection. You see that purple overlap area in the diagram? That shows you exactly that, the odds of both event A and event B happening together. It's such a simple visual for a really crucial idea. But wait, we can get even more precise. What if you want to know the chance of A happening, but you need to make sure B doesn't happen? Well, we can figure that out too. We can isolate that exact probability. This isn't some vague feeling, it's a specific, calculated value. This is the kind of precision that your gut just can't ever give you. All right, so we can describe the present, and we're starting to understand the rules of chance. Now, we get to the big payoff, turning all of this into actual predictions about the future by looking at the shape of our data. Which brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? It's great that we can describe what's happening now, but can we really use all this to predict what's going to happen next? And the answer is, yeah, pretty much. And this is how. It's called a probability distribution. Just think of it as a map that shows you how likely every single possible outcome is. It's probably the closest thing we have to a real-life crystal ball because it shows us the pattern of what's possible, and more importantly, what's probable. Now, not all predictions are created equal. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you see a low variance distribution. It's tall and narrow. That means the outcome is super predictable. On the right, that high variance, well, it's flat and spread out. That outcome is anybody's guess. Understanding this difference is what separates a calculated risk from just a wild gamble. So when you have to make a bet, how do you know which one is the smartest? You calculate the expected value.
And forget the complicated formulas for a second. Just think of it like this. If you could run an experiment or make a choice over and over and over again, forever, this is the average results you'd get. It's a single number that basically tells you what the smartest long-term bet is, period.
So when you put all of these pieces together, when you can describe reality with total clarity, understand the real rules of probability, and see the shape of the future, you get to this amazing new place, a place where there's no more guessing.
It's honestly a fundamental shift in how you see everything. You literally move from a world of just guessing to a world where you can actually, truly know.
I started this whole journey just trusting my gut. Now, I don't guess. I calculate expected values. It's a completely different and, frankly, better way of operating. If you want to get smarter with me on this journey, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.